everybody, and welcome back to NASCAR Thunder 2003. It is finally time for Season 2. I took the rest of that week off, and we are back now. Thank you guys for enjoying the videos that I did in between the season. I'm hoping to do some more one-off or more series-type videos as we go along here, so you should start to see a more mix of videos soon. But right now, what you're going to be seeing on your screen, this is the list of our silly season moves. So Kyle Petty, Mike Skinner, and Shauna Robinson all retired. Jamie McMurray will take over the number 4 Chevrolet. Jeff Purvis will take over Shauna Robinson's number 49, rather. And nobody will take over Kyle Petty's number 45. So I guess that car could be one that we could get as a sponsor later on. We'll have to see, but we are here in the shop before we go to the Budweiser Shootout. Another thing you'll notice is our car is a little different. That was a 2003 preview, like I said, at the end of last season. Decided to switch it up just a little bit. I went with a darker red on the Coca-Cola car simply because it made the car itself pop a little bit better, have the features stand out better, and also just went for a different graphic style, but kept the color scheme. Before we do head to Daytona, a reminder that the exhibition races don't count towards your car's used or any sort of R&D. It doesn't take a race off of that or anything. So as a reminder, we don't have a 100% engine to go into Daytona with. We do have a 96, so not bad, but we do have a 100% chassis. In terms of the engines, we will have a repaired engine after Daytona and a new engine in 3 races' time. So without further ado, let's go to the Budweiser Shootout.
MRN is live in Daytona Beach, Florida for today's NASCAR Winston Cup action in the pole shootout. Would you look at this field? It's going to be hard to pick a winner in this one.
Yeah, this is always a great race. Each driver has earned their spot by being a pole winner, which means we're in for some fast action. And what better place to be than right here at Daytona?
Kevin Harvick accomplished an incredible feat in 2001. He won the Busch Series championship while competing full-time on the Winston Cup circuit.
To race all those miles and be as good as he was is simply amazing. I'm sure the extra track time helped him, but you just get tired racing like that every weekend.
After finishing second twice to Dale Earnhardt Jr. for the Busch Series championship, Kenseth beat him out for Rookie of the Year in 2000.
And he did it without qualifying well. Despite only 2 top 10 starting spots, he posted a 14th place points finish and a win and 11 top 10s.
Rusty Wallace draws the pole for the Budweiser Shootout. Kevin Harvick to start alongside him with Ryan Newman and Jimmy Johnson. So each driver must make a 2-tire pit stop under a green flag. That is the only rule you need to know for this race. Green flag in the air. We're racing in the Budweiser Shootout. As always, slowly up through the gears, especially since we don't have an upgraded engine with us. That won't be there till after Daytona. Very small field for this race, of course. It's just the pole winners from last year, and I believe this game actually does get that correctly. If I may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they actually do get that correct. Going to fall in line here behind the 30 car, hopefully drag us up there to the rest of the leaders. Only 7 laps this race, a very, very short race. And again, you do have to make a green flag pit stop, so it's going to be interesting to see when the AI decide to come down pit road. We'll probably be sure to come down with them since we, of course, need a drafting partner. We slide in behind Dale Jarrett now, just not getting up to speed the way I had hoped for right now. The field already starting to spread out on lap 2 of this race. As I had mentioned back in my, I think it was my NASCAR 09 video, EA never quite seemed to understand the assignment for these super speedway races as we make contact with Jeff Gordon. And it is a very spread out field here in this race. Whoa, Ken Schrader smacks the wall. So we're going to squeeze our way through there. And get up to P10, 5 laps to go. It was weird, it happened like down the straightaway, just Schrader deciding to yeet himself into the wall. Not particularly in a great place right now. We got a pack way out in front of us, a pack way behind us. And we're just kind of by ourselves here in the middle of it. So not exactly the place to be. We'll see if anyone starts pitting this lap. As we do have a blown engine, I believe that's Dale Earnhardt Jr. Dale Jr. going to go ahead, come down to pit lane. And, you know what, screw it. We're going to come down to pit road 2, even though we're by ourselves. Just because it's a way to try something different. So we'll just go ahead and do that. I know I had just recently said a couple seconds ago that we need to be with partners when we come to pit road, but we weren't going to anyway, simply because cars were coming in without, we weren't near anyone. We were in a huge gap between ourselves and the rest of the field. The field is actually starting to pit now. So we'll see where we come out. Maybe we can get lucky and a caution comes out and we can get back into line. But for now, it's really the only option we had because we were just going to lose more time if we stayed out that lap anyway. All right, we got guys leaving the pit lane here. See if we can get past them here. These are guys that were behind us before the pit stop, so not surprising that we're coming out along with them. They had an extra lap in the draft. Gordon and Marlin up ahead, so we'll slot right behind them into the draft. White flag is out for the leader behind us. I'm assuming somebody didn't pit because that's what happens in these EA games. You always, for some reason, the leader doesn't come down pit road. Now, for some reason, apparently just coming down pit road equates to a huge drop in time because we are way back in 18th. Not quite sure how that happened, but of course we'll see where we line up after the disqualification for whoever's leading happens as Todd Bodine starts to catch up to us here. Coming out of turn 4, going to currently slot to P18. I imagine we'll move up to P17 for whoever gets disqualified here. But across the line, a really short and uneventful race here. And the actual winner of this race is going to be Kevin Harvick.
Lead changes were pretty scarce.
You could definitely tell the drivers who had the stronger cars. They got out front early and they stayed there the majority of the race.
The Coca-Cola car probably isn't too happy about his finish here.
I hate it for those guys too. They were so positive about their chances to win this morning, but then they just had a bad race. It happens.
Unfortunately, we're out of time for now. Thanks for joining us. Next up is Daytona.
So 3 drivers were disqualified. They were Rusty Wallace, Jimmy Johnson, and Ken Schrader. They will come home 19th through 21st, which did move us up to P15. So let's go ahead, get out of here, and get to qualifying for the 500. Not exactly surprising, but we were 43rd on lap number 1 as we head down the back straightaway, looking to get a little bit faster on lap 2. Again, all this, if you didn't see this last season or you don't know much about NASCAR, all this does essentially, besides determine the front row, will determine which of the Gatorade Duels will be in. So as we come up to the line here, time to find out if we are in the inside or outside rows for the Daytona 500. Cross the line. A decent pickup, but only P39, so we're in duel number 1. So the Gatorade 125s determine the starting positions for the Daytona 500. This race determines the inside row. The second race will determine the outside row. Rusty Wallace is on pole, so that must mean he is your Daytona 500 pole sitter. We do have a fantasy car on track with us this season. Absolutely no idea who's driving it as we go green here in the duel. Now, one of the bad things about us having such slow speed in qualifying is it's going to struggle here when we get up to speed, and we could lose the draft, but it seems like we're getting back in now. And actually, I think I see another fantasy car up there. So it looks like we got two rookie fantasy cars. Not sure what who's driving those. We'll see, though. And unfortunately, now we are starting to lose the draft here. It's amazing how having a non-100% engine will hurt you. Had I known we were going to run so bad at Homestead at the end of last season, I would have just saved the engine for Daytona. Well, the field running double file while the rest of us at the back ran single file must have really actually paid off there, because we have finally caught up to the back of this field. So we've got the O'Reilly Auto Parts Ford in front of us. Going to go down to the inside, but he does put the block on us as we start lap 3. Get underneath the 143 here. Maybe he continues to throw the block as we go down to the inside. Todd Bodine now to the outside, so we will go to the inside of Jamie McMurray. I'll have to try to remember that. As everybody starts to single file out as there's a slowdown up ahead, which is going to allow us to gain a ton of spots. Here we go. Now we're 3 wide. I don't understand why the AI have slowed down so much, but we'll take it. We're up to P6. And now we have the 2 DEI cars. Waltrip looks high. We are not going to go with him. We'll stay with Dale Jr., but Jr.'s going to go to that high side for now. A little bit of contact with the 15. Honestly, didn't mean to do that. And now it looks like for the next 2 laps, we might just be behind Jr. here. Really not sure what happened there that caused all those AI to slow down, but I mean, we'll take it, because that's row 5 for us could be pretty nice for the 500. Well, Dale Jr. stepped on the throttle, got away from us, and also passed Robbie Gordon. So we're by ourselves, but that's okay, as it looks like somebody blows the engine right as they cross the finish line. It'll be P5 for us, so that is going to be huge for the Daytona 500. It looks like Rusty Wallace won the race.
There weren't very many lead changes.
Yeah, there weren't too many battles up front for position. Those guys who ran in the top 5 were pretty dominant all race long.
The Coca-Cola car will get a top 5 for his efforts.
You know, all the guys on that team should be very happy with their performance.
All right, so that'll do it for this episode, everybody. Next up is the Daytona 500. You're not going to want to miss that, so be sure to subscribe for that race so you don't miss it. It'll be out in just a few days. If you did enjoy this video, be sure to leave it a like. Lets me know that you're enjoying the series and want to see more content. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.